How difficult is it preparing for the Warriors on a back-to-back?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I mean, this is our second consecutive third game in 4 nights. We've had a pretty demanding schedule, especially when you consider travel. But at the end of the day, we know this team, played them in the preseason, and offensively they are just a powerhouse. So it's going to take a great effort, and if we have to use guys on our bench, hopefully they'll be able to come in and play with great energy and game plan discipline.
Three-point shooting is always kind of a big story when you play the Warriors one way or the other. How do you figure to slow them down tonight?
We're going to do exactly what we did in the preseason. I think their starting lineup was 1 for 19 from 3, so we're going to employ the same game plan. Yeah, it's tough. You have 3 guys, I think, in the top 10 individually in three-point percentage. You know, Steph, Clay, and Kevin Durant are 3 of the greatest shooters to ever play the game. So we have to be into those guys. We have to be chasing them over everything, and then we have to give help when necessary. And great challenge, but for me, most importantly, we can't give them 28 fast break points. That's what they average. We have to cut that number in half, and we have to find a way to take away some of their threes, because obviously they're a prolific three-point shooting team.
They've got the 4 great all-star caliber players. Which one of those is the toughest matchup individually for your guys?
Tough question. You know, Kevin Durant, his size is such a tough cover. He can get a shot over anybody. Clay right now, I think, is playing at a very high level, very efficient. And Steph, because of his ability to shoot off the dribble, you know, it's tough to say one, because I think all 3 of those guys are just really tough covers. And then Draymond brings, I think, he's a glue to that team. I think he's the most important piece to that team. And a lot of people might think I'm crazy, but I really feel he's the guy that keeps it all together.
Did you get to enjoy that win last night at all?
I did. It was a great half an hour.
How different is it to be able to have a back-to-back when you don't have to travel?
Well, it's great because, you know, the third game in 4 nights and the back-to-back is tough enough as it is. But knowing that you can just drive home, sleep in your own bed, and not have to get on an airplane and getting late in another city is definitely a little bit more enjoyable than the other option. We'll see how effective it is tonight, midway through that first quarter, if we're in the game.
Mike, to follow on your point about Draymond, I mean, even with all the talent that they have, what is it about him that makes him most important?
The intangibles. You know, he's a great playmaker. He's a great rebounder. He's a great defender. I think his leadership, his toughness, his tenacity, all the things that I came to respect in the year that I coached him, you know, I think he brings that edge to this team. They have a lot of really talented players, great players, but I think Draymond brings out a lot of other things in that team, and he's a throwback player. You know, Draymond Green could have played in the game in the '80s and thrived when the game was a man's game, because that's the kind of player that he is.
Your transition offense is elite. Your transition offense is second best in the league. Their one area of weakness is the transition defense. How much is this going to be a battle of 2 teams trying to do the exact same thing, which is to get stops in front?
Yeah, it's you know, they don't have many weaknesses, but offensively, I would say they're turnovers, and that's what we tell our guys. They're going to go on runs. They're going to make multiple shots, but they'll let you back in the game. And we've seen that with our games with them before, because they do turn the ball over a lot. They really struggle with the rebounding. They play so much small ball, teams can hurt them on the offensive glass. We have to be careful, Matt, because yes, we have to look to run and score when we can, and those opportunities will be there. But we also don't want to get into a rat race with the team that is king of the rat race, if you will. They thrive in that up and down, and what makes them different is that they have guys, and Durant and Steph especially, that are great with the pull-up 3. You know, you get them back, you're getting back, next thing you know, they're pulling up from 3s from 30 feet away, which are tough shots, but for them, they're normal shots. So it will be a challenge, but we just have to be careful where it's not getting out of control and they're winning that battle.
Coach, where have you seen the progress in the young season with Murray so far?
You know, he got off to somewhat of a tough start early on, struggling to make shots. We go on the road trip. He finds his rhythm. He finds his confidence. He's playing well. And then he comes out last night and has a dud. And that's what 20-year-old point guards are going to do in this league. And he'll bounce back. You know, the great thing about last night was I think he only played around 20 minutes, so he should be well rested for tonight compared to some of the other starters. And you have to have a short-term memory. But I just want him to continue to push pace, be aggressive, and play with confidence. Last night I thought he got caught over-dribbling, and that over-dribbling got him into trouble. And obviously, I thought Emmanuel was a better option for us down the stretch. And then Will Barton was our third point guard to close the game out for us.
Coach, down the stretch when you went with Barton, is that going to be a position at point guard that you're really just going to roll with the hot hand at the end of games?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm hoping that, Jamal can be the guy, but I thought, last night was just a tough night for him on both ends of the floor. And that's the luxury of having the roster that we have. I thought Emmanuel for a while did a really good job in that second half. And then, the decision to go with Will Barton down the stretch, who's a capable playmaker in his own right, and it gives you length. I thought he played pretty good defense on Dion on that last shot. But yeah, it's going to come down to game by game, who is going to give us the best chance to win. And that guy will be the guy that closes the games.
Free throw shooting came up in this session yesterday, and then it nearly lost you guys the game, frankly, last night. So are you already scripting free throw drills for practice next week?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I coached Ben Wallace, and I kid you not, Ben Wallace in practice would make 20 for 20. And then you get to a game situation, obviously you struggle to make him in a game situation. Yeah, we can, our guys realize that we're leaving way too many points on the line, like Nicola said after the game. We need guys to step up. Obviously, Paul made the most important ones of the night, but we can't leave 11 points on the foul line. I think we're 14 of 25 from the free throw line, and that is going to bite us in the butt at some point. To your point, Gina, that could have easily cost us a game last night, and obviously it didn't. But it's something that we're aware of, and guys have to get in the gym, get extra reps, get their routine. I don't know what. Call the psychic network, whatever they got to do. But we got to try to figure that out because it definitely is a concern at the moment.
How much do you think the Warriors have to do with the fact that the league is trending to a faster pace and more three-pointers?
Yeah, I think there's definitely something there. There's a herd mentality in the NBA. And so when one team wins, everybody tries to be just like them. And sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad because your personnel may not allow you to be just like that team. But they've done a great job. I think Bob Myers has done a fantastic job building this team, putting this team together, and playing to the strengths of their roster. And now, obviously, you have a lot of teams in the NBA that are playing small ball, that are switching everything, and that are taking 30, 35 threes a night. And obviously, Golden State was one of the first teams to start doing that. So they're definitely get some credit in that regard.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.